Welcome back, traders. In the continuation of this course, we're going to be finishing up with how to use Metatrader before we hop into adding actual specific indicators and working on our system. The first thing we want to do is create a blank template, something that is easy to read and that is very clear. When you start trading, and you're starting to trade multiple currency pairs so that you can pick up as much as you possibly can, it's very important for you to be able to glance at your charts and quickly make out what is happening. So it is actually quite important just to make it look nice. You can feel free to follow along exactly the way I'm setting up my chart, or you can change the colors, whatever works for you. I will explain my decisions as I go through everything. If it doesn't make sense to you, you can change it. This doesn't affect your strategy. It's really just how it looks. Alright, the first thing I do on a fresh installation of Metatrader is I get rid of the market watch as well as the navigator. I do this because it allows me to see more of the historical data at a glance. I'm purposefully recording in 720p so that these videos should be more viewable on your mobile devices. If you're running on a 1080p or regular monitor, you will see even more history than I have up here, and that can become very important. The next thing I do is that I zoom in a little bit until I can clearly make out the charts across here, so I can see exactly what's happening with the different bar lines and it's quite clear, and then I change it to candlesticks. Now that I'm comfortable with the zoom level that I'm at, I can confirm and say, well, that is a little bit small. This is most likely the setting that I will actually be trading from. Now, I'm not terribly happy with the colors. How we access the other areas of setting up our charts is you can click on charts and then go to properties. Alternatively, you can just press the F8 on your keyboard and it'll bring up the same information. I like having a white background with colored candlesticks on top. There is no quick scheme to get there, but there is one that's very close. I choose the color scheme here and I go to black on white. And now if I just click OK, it makes the chart look like this. A lot of people enjoy the black on white. I personally prefer having a bit of color in my life. It's totally up to you how you want to do it. So I'm going to press F8 again. And now you can see we have all the colors down here on the right hand side. I'm going to change my bull candles to green. And the bear candles to a red color. Now let me click OK and show you. Now you see how much clearer it is already looking. You can see at a glance the downwards trends, you can see the upwards trends very easily, and everything is highlighted in different colors. One note is a lot of my students like to change the color of the green. What they do is that they take the colors from the new order window. So instead of green, they set it as blue. The colors don't really matter too much, so I'll go ahead and I'll change mine to blue as well, just so you see what it looks like. As long as you can clearly distinguish between the two colors. The next thing I like to do is to remove the grid lines in the background. I find that the grid lines, because they're not set amounts of pips and it scales with how the chart changes. For example, if I go ahead and I squash this, you'll see that the grid lines remain the same. So the value of the distance between them is changing. At this scale, that is 102 pips. At regular scale, it's 43 pips. So it is a little bit misleading and I don't really need it there. You go back into properties, you can select common, and now we have a lot of other things that we can edit in our chart. I'm going to make sure that auto scroll is on by default, and I'm going to deselect show grid, and then click OK. And this is how I like my charts to start off. I'm going to keep the blue scheme going. It does seem to be more popular with my students. And also because it matches up with the colors of the buy and the sell. We're looking at upwards trends being blue, which is when you want to buy, and red coming down is being sell. Now here's the thing. If we go and we open up a new chart by clicking on the create a new chart button, and then we select any other pair, you'll see that it defaults to this horrible green on black with nothing set up properly. Now this is something that's built into Metatrader. This is the default color scheme that it has. So what we want to do, instead of having to re-edit all of the details every time, is we're going to save our new chart look as a template. So you select the new chart and make sure it's the active one in your window, and you head on over to the templates button. We can click on that, select Save Template. I have a habit of naming all of my templates that I've created myself AAA, and then you give it a name. Basically, I call it AAA, so it always bubbles to the top of a list if it ever sorts something alphabetically, and it's very easy for me to find. But you don't have to follow that, do whatever you'd like. This one I'm going to call AAA blank. There we go. Now we have our template saved. Let's go back to the ugly one. We can click on our templates button again. Now you can either select Load Template and browse to it, or you'll see recently used templates are listed here. So I can just select it from this menu. And there we go. It will take all of the chart settings that you have. Your zoom level, auto scroll, chart colors, all of those features are saved, and it will apply that to whatever currency pair you want. So let me go ahead and add another one and show you. We click on Create a New Chart. Select a random currency pair. We see it has the default Metatrader scheme. So I can click on Templates and apply our new template. Practice this a few times, get used to where the buttons are. Templates becomes very important for your actual trading. It's not just how it looks, but while we're going through the indicators and we're working towards giving you a fully working trading strategy, templates will also save all of the indicators that you're using on the screen. This means you could have a separate template for all of the different trading strategies that you use. And that way you can open up a currency pair and you just load the template of the strategy you're using and slap it on top. And it means it only takes a few seconds for you to look at different strategies on the same pair. That's it for now on setting up your charts, saving and loading templates. The good stuff comes up next, folks.